Here we go.
You got it?
I got it.
Okay.
So,
All right, call this meeting to order. 4 selectmen are all present. We rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello,
Howdy.
I need your name.
Michelle Harrison.
Any amendments to the agenda?
did you want to add that? Do we have to put that on there?
No, that'll come after public comment.
All right. Public comments? That's you.
Just in time.
So,
You want to set the,
oh,
that way they can record you so everybody will know.
Everybody who you are.
okay. Todd, come up here. Okay. I'm Michelle Harrison, and let's see what you do. No, you guys. Okay, thank you. So, I don't know where I should start, but I'm having some troubles. I got a building permit from Paul before he left on a lot. It's now known as 7 New Gloucester Road in Durham. Okay, and it was, when I purchased it, at the time I purchased it, we had divided it into 2 lots. Okay, and it's just on May 26th, Calvin left me a voice message that he was concerned that it was an illegal subdivision. So I've got a couple $100,000 in this property, and Calvin had been there on at least 4 other occasions, which I've outlined in a timeline, and never did anything come up about this. As well as when Paul was here prior to getting the permit, Paul knew what my plan was. My plan was to purchase the land and to divide it into 2 lots. It doesn't require, according to the Durham statute, it doesn't require subdivision because it's met the 5-year rule. I forwarded today just to Todd, I don't know if you got a chance to send it around to the group or not, all the previous deeds. Cumberland Title's been on it, my lawyer's been on it. So I was a lot taken aback when when Calvin called on May 26th and stated that it was a potential illegal subdivision. And so I've been trying since then to get feedback from him. Well, and in the meantime, I have put a stop to the project, which is now costing me money every single day that this project isn't proceeding. I don't think it's unreasonable to request that an email that goes to a town official on the 26th, I'm sitting here 2.5 weeks later with no response. So, and I'm starting to feel like there's some kind of personal vendetta against me. I'm not sure why. But I've had other issues, and I kind of went back through a timeline today because I was like, I think I've probably let some things slide. But, for example, I asked for a septic inspection on 4/18. It didn't happen until 5/26. Completely unreasonable, and the entire time I had an excavator sitting on site. So on 4/20, I followed up on the septic inspection request, and again, didn't hear until 5/26. I'm not sure what transpired or where things went south or if Calvin's just overwhelmed. I mean, he's not rude to me by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm not here to beat up on him. That's not my intention, but I need some answers. And, I've lived in this town my entire life, and I pay my taxes. I'm a good citizen in my opinion, but I'm now feeling very concerned for the direction of the town. So ask questions, please.
Well, you said that you'd sent Todd some information. What can you enlighten us about this?
Well, she's pretty much said what has happened.
Is the lot a legal lot being split in 2?
As far as I can tell,
Okay.
it is.
So
It's been 5 years since it was last split off the larger piece.
Okay, that's my only question, because I remember Ruth mentioned something to me about it today, and I was trying to think back how it was worded. I know you can split it once, you gotta wait 5 years and split it again. Can you split it in 2 in 5 years, or can you only?
Well, you kind of have to split it.
Right, but to build on that second lot, do you have to wait, or is that, it's not, okay. Well, that might be where Calvin was trying to make sure that it was correct. I don't know,
So,
but
he
let
was
me
not
give you,
here, so we can't ask him, but.
so I can give you a little more, and I'm just going on completely factual, so I don't think Kevin will.
Can I ask one question before you do
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Is the issue that he has actually told you that it's an illegal subdivision and you want to contest that actual finding? Or is it that he raised the question that it might be and he just hasn't followed up?
Correct.
Okay.
Second, correct.
So-
And that's the problem, like, and he's, you know, it was a heated conversation between him and I, as, you know, I think it would be with anybody when you've got this amount of money out on the table and you're like not getting answers.
So you have, you have an existing permit?
I do for one of the lots. I haven't even pulled a second permit because I haven't decided on the house design for the second
Are we-
permit yet.
Are we talking a total of 2 lots here?
Yeah, we're talking, yeah. So it doesn't
We're not
even,
even at 3 lots.
it doesn't even fall into subdivision based on the Durham statute. It's not, it should never even be called a subdivision, shouldn't even be in question as a subdivision. It was a land division, that's it.
Technically, that is what it is, but
Yeah.
that's only technically.
Got it.
Could you just repeat one more time? You
Sure.
said you have a permit for one of the lots?
Correct.
And who issued that permit?
Paul did. And trust me, you know, like, I think the world of Paul, and was a very thorough individual, and he went through this with me prior to. He knew what I was doing, and he questioned it. And I brought all of this in, and we went through it. So now to have another interim guy going through it again, I'm looking at you guys going, something's not right, folks.
So what has, other than the risk of him following up and saying it is an illegal subdivision, what has stopped you from working?
Yeah, because, so the house is sold, it was a spec house, it's sold. The potential new owners can't afford to buy the house if the other lot then has to become back as one. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, the price will go up more than what
of
they want
course,
to pay.
and they can't, they've got a very clear
I thought the
budget.
lots were already divided.
They're already divided, yes, they are.
Already divided.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I don't understand that you're saying that we might have to like bring the lots back together as one?
If it's deemed, if Kelvin feels that it's deemed like it wasn't legal to divide it,
Okay, that's
then
fine.
in order for me to sell it to the potential new owners,
Yep.
I revert back.
How long
which-
ago were they divided?
So, let me just walk you through that real
Okay,
quick.
sorry.
In 2000, so visualize in 2001, this lot had a farmhouse on it as well as, like, it was a farmhouse and some land. So in 2001, this whole process started. In June of 2011, and that's the critical date, June 2011, that is when the piece that I purchased was broke off, and it's like a do you remember how many acres?
I think it's 4.2.
4.2 acres. So that
The split off piece is 4.2,
exactly.
and what was left? You had it was 4.2 plus what the other house is on that you're gonna sell.
Yes, yeah,
That
I
was a
think there
total
was
of-
like, I don't wanna quote you and have it wrong, but I wanna say that the house still has like 7 acres with it or something. Does that sound relatively?
So it was an 11-acre piece roughly.
Roughly.
With a farmhouse. 4.2 got split off as a separate lot, that's what you bought.
Right.
Somebody else still owned the
Farmhouse.
The other 7.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So we're talking about the 4.2.
The 4.2, so.
Being
that-
split in half.
Yeah.
That 4.2 though was created in June of 2011.
Sure.
Okay.
That's what this deed, and he has all this, the book, 8177, page 156.
The house that resides there now, the spec home,
Yes,
how many acres is that encompassing?
2.1.
Oh,
2.1.
you're splitting the 4.2.
Yeah, you need
Exactly.
2
All right,
acres
I got
per,
you.
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
So you purchased the land in 2011?
No, I did not. Nope, did not.
Okay.
Oh, I
In
thought that's what you said.
2011, sorry, in 2011, that's when the people who were selling the land, that's when they split it.
Oh, okay.
I think that may be Calvin's confusion, because Calvin has a date of 2012.
Exactly, so I'll get there.
Okay.
I'll get there. So then, just remember, June 16th, 2011, this land was created, the 4.2 acres. It exists, has nothing to do with me, okay?
Okay.
So then, fast forward 5 years. We're now in June of 2016. 5-year rule has passed, okay? That land is now able to be split without going through subdivision. There's plenty of frontage. There's the required acreage, and so there's no subdivision rules or laws for that. So prior to me purchasing it in August of 2016, they wouldn't negotiate on price, so I said, that's fine. You can pay the money to have all the land split. So when I purchased this, I purchased property with 2 lots. I purchased 2 different deeds.
How did you do that?
You just have the, like they
Return.
create the deed.
Right.
Whether they're creating the deed or I create the deed, the deed gets
Of the
created.
4.2,
Yep.
that's how you bought it, it was split.
Somebody wrote up a legal description of 2 pieces of property, and that's what you
Exactly.
bought was 2 pieces of
Yes,
property.
exactly. And so that's what these deeds are.
Who was the surveyor that split that for you, do you know?
The survey was actually done quite a long time ago. It was actually done in 2011,
You
and
split-
it was
so they didn't-
LaPointe
they
at the
didn't-
time.
Okay, they didn't split, when you did the 4.2, they didn't survey each one to make sure that you had, they did?
They
Okay.
did, they created, at the time they did the 4.2.
Yep.
The
That's the one
people
I was
who were
looking for.
selling it knew in their mind, we're gonna hold on to this for 5 years, and then we're gonna sell it as 2 separate lots.
Sure. So that 4.2 has been surveyed, and it's defined as 2 lots on the survey?
Yes.
And it shows the equal, or not equal, but it shows each lot's road frontage, et cetera?
Yes, it does.
And they
Yep.
both-
And
they
they're all,
both-
and they're very clear deeds.
So they both meet town lot requirements in
They
terms
do.
of 2-acre minimum, 200 feet of road frontage?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
It's a corner lot, so it was very easy to meet the road
Sure,
frontage
okay.
requirements. Yep.
300 feet.
Then what happens,
300 feet of road frontage.
it is 3.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
they meet the 3, so it's.
They both meet the 3?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay, good question.
So you bought the 4.2, but you bought it as 2.1s.
Technically, I bought 2 2.1s, really, from all legality
So it was split
standpoint.
as part of the transfer?
Exactly.
Okay, all
Yep,
right.
yep, so when I purchased 2 deeds.
Okay,
Okay, Cumberland Title did all the deed work. I have all the, my lawyer did all of the legwork on it. Everything is covered in title insurance. It is buttoned up.
yeah.
I mean, so this is where Calvin's confused though. And I've gone over this with him, and that's what's extra frustrating about this, because take the time, give it to your lawyers, give it to whoever you gotta give it to, but get me an answer. So where he's confused is there was a deed on September 7th, 2012. Okay, so that means we wouldn't meet the 5-year rule until September 7th, 2017, which was this fall. This is not the end of the world, but it's this fall. All this deed was, and anyone who can read a deed can clearly see, this has nothing to do with the land. The land is already done. This was 2 people broke up and one person's name's been removed from the deed. It's nothing more than that.
May I see that?
Yes, please. And so Calvin is concerned about that date. The other area that he's concerned about, he's expressed concern to me about, is he's like, well, there's a word called portion in there, and the portion word, he's getting hung up on the portion word. Well, every deed's gonna be written that way, because everything came from one piece here, and you took a portion of this, and you took a portion of this. It's how they're written.
So was one of these, so I'm assuming the deeds on June of 2016, you bought, they for in your name. You bought them.
Yes, yep.
So where along the, and here we're changing the name, where along the lines did these people obtain property to begin
So
with?
they obtained the property in 2001, the original property.
They originally owned the whole piece.
Exactly.
And then they set the farm, at that time, they broke the
sold
farm
it.
off at X amount of property.
Sold the
And
farm.
they had 4.2 that they split
Exactly.
into 2 before, when they did that.
You got
So
it.
that's actually 3 lots, correct?
Oh, I see, this is
2001.
before you bought
2001.
it.
Right.
Before you bought it, okay, all right, all right.
That
now-
might be where the confusion is.
Now
Well,
it's
that's
on.
Can
well
you do
over the
that that
5.
way?
Yeah, way.
I mean, I know that there was a thing about being able to split them.
Well,
If they go into 3 lots, then it becomes a subdivision.
When-
That may not matter, because you actually have 2 separate
Right.
deeds, but I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get it clear.
yeah, when did they do that? When they split that 4.2? They split it in 2 at the same time?
They sold the farmhouse in, the way I'm understanding it, the farmhouse was sold in 2001, and they created the 4.2 in 2001. Is that correct? They kept it.
Or 2000, this, you
Kept
said
it at
2011
4.2.
earlier.
Yeah, there's 2001 is the first part, and then 2011 is the second part. So
Okay.
this is the first deed
See, either way. it was-
with
So
the
there was 2 lots
farmhouse.
that way,
It was
okay.
2 lots.
And then in 2011, they took the
Split it again.
4.2 and cut it in half.
Nope, they created the 4.2 in 2011.
So when did they
And
cut
made
it in
it two
half?
lots.
Didn't get it cut in half, it didn't get cut in half until 2016,
Just-
5 years later.
Okay, they split it and then you.
And then
okay,
I
all right.
purchased two
Okay, I
split
see.
lots.
Okay.
So you purchased two lots. You
I
didn't
did.
purchase one.
No, I purchased two separate lots.
And they were split before you purchased them.
You purchase and sale, when you bought those, where there's two different tax map IDs on those each lots?
Well, it gets created when they create the deed. So that's,
So there is
Well, so
now.
there's- Yeah, so there is now.
It
So
wasn't.
there
There
should
wasn't
be.
when,
It
okay.
wasn't when I purchased it.
There is now? So there are two separate lots already from the town's standpoint?
Well, from the town's tax standpoint, there's two different
yeah,
things.
yeah, I got
But
you.
yes, according to the tax assessor, there are two separate lots. But that has nothing to do with codes, just so you, I mean, I'm not,
No, I understand it has nothing to do with
Yeah.
codes, but I'm trying to figure out what the holdup is here. I don't.
Well, the whole,
So-
Kelvin's initial, it's very interesting to me, I would like to know too, because his whole initial thing dated back to the 2012. So we've gotten over that hurdle.
So what's the remedy here? I mean, because there's no official finding that you can't proceed with your
Well,
original
the
plan.
voicemail, which my lawyer has advised me to hold on to that,
Yeah.
okay? And if we have to escalate this, we will. And the voicemail is basically him saying like, whoa, I don't want you to have a problem when you go to sell this. And unfortunately, and you know what, and it's, I guess, you know, my word against his word, and, you know, I'm not here to really argue about this. These are just factual things from lawyers
just
and
want the
title
cloud
companies.
removed
I want the
from
cloud
the,
removed,
yeah.
and I continue to have problems. I mean, I should have never waited 3+ weeks to have a septic inspection. And then, in addition to that, on 6/6, he came out to do the framing, electrical, and plumbing, and here we are, I called him on 6/9. I passed, framing, electrical, plumbing, all passes. I said, do you want to write something up? Do you do anything? Nothing was written up, nothing was done. You have to call CMP, so I can essentially get a meter put in, okay? I've worked in a lot of towns, Cape Elizabeth, Falmouth, Freeport, North Yarmouth, Pownell. Haven't really worked that much in Durham, but, you know, I've built a couple houses in Durham. And so I've never experienced this. It is now on 6/13. As of today at 12/12, he still hadn't called my electrical permit in. So now he has made me lose another week. It's a simple call. You call, you give them the work order, they come set the meter. That's unacceptable under any circumstances. So now it's starting to feel a little bit like there's an underlying current here. And so I'm trying to clear that cloud.
Todd, just, yeah, if I could just ask Todd real quick, it sounded like you got these documents earlier. I mean, you know this stuff better than anybody. Does this conforming?
I don't see where he gets it, it's not conforming. I get that looks at that 2012 deed and he doesn't understand it. He should have called the town lawyer or something, talk to somebody.
So
We
I'm
have
wondering,
people that can read that and make heads or tails of it and not waste our time.
And I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm going by what the lawyers and the title
Yep.
companies are saying.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of people have looked at that.
The call was made for the electrical, I understand today, so that you're able to move forward with?
Yes, Ryan, thankfully, we have,
I mean, unfortunately, we can't give you some answers tonight, because Calvin's in the hospital right now somewhere. He's
I wish we could
got some issues
turn things
that he's
back.
trying to take care of, so we can't ask him at this point.
right.
Um,
And honestly, I thought this would pass, so I would have brought it up sooner. But then when this whole electrical thing has occurred, and I mean, I had a conversation with him yesterday, you know, and he says, well, when I get into the office, I will, you know, I don't have the work order in front of me, or if you can email me the work order number. Within 5 minutes, I emailed him the work order number at 3:11 yesterday. This is all well documented, and he still didn't call CMP. You know, so this is starting to feel like, guys, if I start adding up the costs, it's going to ching, and nobody else would like to be treated this way.
No, I agree. So with what you have, other than clearing up this cloud, which I don't think we can clear
Yeah,
it tonight,
understood.
till we at least talk to him, can you move forward with what you have at this point? The only thing you're concerned about is you want to be able to get that permit on that second piece.
Yes, and I haven't applied for the permit. I just want to be able to move forward with, with a recognition that that I'm not
It's
going to
two
run
separate
into,
lots.
that it's two separate lots, and I'm not going to run into any other trouble before I continue. I need to blast on the other lot. I mean, there's a lot of things plans still need to be drawn. I don't want to keep incurring costs.
Right.
If this is going to be something that you guys are going to come back and say, whoa. And, you know, frankly, the people of the existing house that's being built are going to want to close on that in a timely manner.
Right.
And so if we need to get lawyers involved, I know that takes time.
Do you know, Ruth, if Kelvin has copies of all those?
I don't know if he has
He
copies
has
of-
all the book and pages of everything. He's
He
got
has
it all on
copies of what you have,
531.
okay.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
It
and
was emailed to him.
Pam can look those up on the registry.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And
So-
Todd could forward the same email that
I
I
actually, yeah,
sent the
Todd
forwards. Yeah.
Todd did forward everything to me.
So I think the best that we can give you for an answer tonight, and,
Yep.
because we're not gonna be able to probably see him until Thursday.
Do you want me to forward this stuff to Jack and ask him for an opinion? Or do we want to just, I mean, I don't know,
Well, I haven't read the two deeds, but it seems to be if she actually bought them as two separate lots, that part is pretty much gone by. I mean, it should
unless
be,
it was illegally done.
well,
Well, do you have, I'm assuming, did you buy them? I don't want to get too personal, but.
No, I have title insurance on
You have
everything.
title
Of
insurance, so
course,
they-
yes.
a lawyer issued you title insurance on both? of them?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
much.
Lawyer's done legwork
Yeah,
on it.
and Cumberland Title is very
Yeah,
reputable,
yeah,
and
that's-
Cumberland Title's who the seller used, I used
Just
Royal
seems like
Title. This is just, you know, this is a personal vendetta for some reason.
well, I hope that's not the case.
Me
I'd like-
too,
I'd
but-
like to think not, but we will clear that up as soon as we can get in touch with him, so.
So do you think it's a reasonable expectation if by the beginning of next week I hear from somebody?
What?
I think it's a reasonable explanation, unless for whatever reason, whatever's going on with him tonight, that we should have some kind of an answer for you Thursday sometime
Okay.
in the day.
So, yep,
You know,
next
Friday
week
at
is
the
fine.
latest, I would
Okay.
think, yeah. I mean, I can't understand why we wouldn't.
Okay, good. And then CMPs, that's taken care of thankfully, so we'll move forward with that.
Okay, yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't get you an answer by,
Okay,
we'll try hard to do it by Thursday.
I appreciate that.
Friday at the latest, I would think.
Okay,
That sound reasonable?
does to me.
It does.
Apologize.
No, it's happens.
What,
like-
what kind, I'm just curious, what answer are we going to get?
Well, it's just, if he's confused about something, he still has to, he's still gotta issue the permit, so.
There's no request for permit on
Well, I
it.
know, but that's part of what she wants to have cleared up so that she can,
Proceed with it.
right, because if he still says no and it gets pushed further out, then as she said earlier,
Well, and
she's
to
either
me-
gotta add the price to that for
I mean,
the,
not to put a wrench in the system or anything, but Calvin theoretically won't be the code enforcement officer when you become.
And I'm not saying that, like, I don't need to, you know, like, there's a lot of other variables that go into issuing the permit.
Sure.
You know, so I'm not saying like, hey, just give me a clean slate and the permit will get issued. I'm saying he made an accusation that's incorrect and I want that, like, retracted, basically.
I think the only part, I don't know if it's a planning board, I don't know, it seems like she bought two deeds, it's a conforming lot, so what are we holding her up any further? I don't get what we're waiting on either.
Yeah.
and if it
You-
was,
You're with everybody else in this.
if it was sold to her as a legal lot, but it was done illegally, what standard do you have at that point? You've been on the other board.
Well,
I mean, to me, if
It-
she's got two separate deeds, that's what she bought.
But it passed First American's sniff test, and they wouldn't have issued that, they
Right.
wouldn't have issued those policies. If it was, that's one of the things they look at.
Right.
Is it a conforming?
So like I said,
Do their research.
I don't know, I don't know if we can give you any more than that, other than until we at least talk to him. I mean,
I think if we talk to.
I think he just needs some
Calvin,
direction on how to.
I
do
think
the
there's some confusion on some of the
Yeah, I think
some of the dates here, because you had
If
me
he
confused for a minute or two.
continues to be confused, we'll have the lawyer to take a look at it. But you know how that is, it costs money.
It does.
And it doesn't seem like it should. It's pretty clear.
Right.
You know, it's not like it's.
This was an easy one in my mind, so that's, I'm very shocked.
1700s where you got this tree, from this tree to this tree is your land, and
should be able to
And the
look for-
timing is very suspicious. I mean, he was there on 4 different occasions, and then all of a sudden this crops up. I mean, doesn't pass a normal sniff test, guys. don't know what else to
Well,
say.
I mean, I don't know, I'm assuming you and Calvin didn't have any personal relationship.
Not that I know
prior
of.
to, so I don't
Not
know
that I'm
why he would
aware
have
of.
any type of vendetta towards you. I think he's just I think he's overly cautious and just trying to do some due diligence on his end.
Yeah.
And I'm not making excuses for anybody, that's the only conclusion I could draw, because I don't think he knows you personally, so I don't think he would form any type of negative vendetta or anything of that nature that you'd want to assess to it. I just think he,
And not really to stick up for him, but we have, as a town or as a board, have kind of pushed him pretty thin, and I know he's trying to make sure he does everything right, so he don't have it come back and bite him, but this,
But I'm the one also too, that's my neck's out there with a
I-
couple
I
$100,000
get that, yeah.
invested.
Right, yeah.
Going,
And
hey, wait a minute, this is
And-
supposed to be a, business-friendly town.
So
It's
y-
not feeling very business-friendly.
yeah, so your project that you're doing now is getting near completion, and you need to sell it. So you can do everything that you need to do currently to get that, keep on track with that process.
Well, I've actually pulled all my subs off it. Because, this hasn't been like one or two conversations. This has been multiple conversations, and pushback of like, oh, when I get in the office or when I have time to get to this, it's not really acceptable to me when I've got this kind of financial investment out there.
So what, not remedy, but what do you want to see happen?
I just need Kelvin to understand the deeds. I just need all I need is a simple recognition of
Some
like,
letter from him?
I just
acknowledging that,
acknowledge
or
the
what?
email from 531, just saying, okay, I've evaluated the other deeds, I see how this was split, thank you. Simple as that. Don't need anything else any more than that. And any future, inspections that he's to perform, I need him to do it in a timely manner. I don't need to be waiting a week for someone to call CMP for me.
I don't think it should take 5 weeks to,
Get a septic inspection, and this is all well documented. I mean, these are all emails, follow-up phone calls, it's all completely
shouldn't be
documented.
more than 2 days.
well, we should be able to clear that up with him. I believe, and I'm not trying to make this worse, but I believe that if you was denied it, then it would have to go to the appeals board, correct?
I think so, yeah.
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 Yeah,
I don't think that that's the case. I think we can probably clear this up, but we still
Right.
should talk to
But still, I
him.
need to know that now to know what my next steps are to, that I need to take.
So you're not gonna put your subs back on
Nope.
until you
So,
hear,
so that's why if I hear Thursday, great. If I hear next week,
well, we'll try not to make it that.
one sub, he doesn't, he has to kind of go back on when I tell him anyhow. Sorry.
Oh, that sounds unfair.
You know about that time?
yep.
So,
All right, so somebody will get a hold of you.
no, appreciate it.
We'll try hard Thursdays, just so we can see if we can clear that up, and then we'll let you know what we have to do at that
Yep.
point.
And maybe if you guys put your eyes on the deeds too, it will help you understand too.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay, thank
Thanks
you.
for letting me sneak in first too.
Are you the only one
I didn't have
here?
to sit for a long time. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Have
Hey,
a great
guys.
night.
Okay. Consent agenda.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had two things. I want to pull off the B and C from the consent agenda.
B, you want to take B and C, let's see. Oh, you want to take
I
them
talked about them.
Yep.
and talk, okay. B and C. So that's a motion?
Yes.
Do I hear a
I don't think-
second?
I don't think you need a motion for that. I think you just,
No.
you
Okay.
just make a request and
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah, so you can make a motion to approve A.
Yes, I move we approve A from the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved to second that we approve A on the consent agenda. All in favor? Okay,
And so the reason I asked to have those two things pulled out for discussion on the minutes through nobody's fault, it's just an oversight. The minutes don't reflect that at our last meeting, we did make Calvin the full-time road commissioner effective July 1st. And we had two executive sessions that night, and in between the two executive sessions, we were in normal session, but the recording secretary had gone home and we weren't being
Right.
recorded at that point, so, so the minutes should be updated to reflect, that we did do that. I think that was the only thing we
But
voted
was there a
on.
Yeah.
motion?
Oh,
yeah, there was, yeah.
Oh, I missed that motion.
I don't think you were here.
Yeah, I thought you was here, and Kevin,
I think I
Do you
was
recall-
there.
Do you recall who made the motion, number one? What the motion actually said, number two? And who seconded the motion so I can get it down right and amend the minutes?
I think I made the motion
think you
to I think I made the motion to make Calvin the full-time road commissioner effective July 1st. I don't remember who seconded it.
I seconded it for all intents and purposes.
And it was a unanimous vote.
Right.
Yep. And we also did, I don't know if it has to be noted, we also noted that that would
That we would not hire.
not hire the second.
Yeah, we didn't have to vote on
We
that.
didn't have to
We're
vote on
just
it, okay.
not going to do that.
Yeah.
So so for anybody watching, that's how we're funding that.
Right.
is we're
Correct.
Not
Exactly.
hiring, and it'll be, and it was also with the understanding that it was more of a, more of a working commissioner type of a role.
Correct.
So, to be in the field more, so. So good on that one. Yeah. And then on the correspondence, I had a question on both of these, actually. On the ACO report, there's a couple of incidences that, one where someone was actually bitten by an animal, and another one where neighbors' animals are fighting each other. And things that would seem to rise to the level that where law enforcement might become involved. And so I'm just wondering, maybe it's just clarification with the new ACO to, if he has referred something to law enforcement, to include that in his remarks, so that we know whether he has or not.
Okay.
Because if things are happening and the animal control officer is learning about these things and then we don't take it any further, that seems like we're not closing the loop on some of those
Yeah,
things.
especially when people are getting bit.
Yeah. And then on the flyer for Runaround Pond celebration, on that one, I think that would be an excellent thing to put on the new website to kind of promote that that's happening, and the PDF of that flyer or whatever. But I think that's a pretty nice celebration. So.
That's 11 o'clock?
Yes.
So
Yeah, it's in the middle of the day.
10 to 2 on Thursday, 11 o'clock is when they're doing the dedication. Anybody want to go speak?
I wish I could. I have a meeting I
long
can't
ways
get
away.
out of that day.
If it's something that's a precedent that we have to be there, I'll be there. If it's,
Well, I'm going to go. I
Okay.
prefer not to speak, so therefore I usually try and get a select person to speak.
I'm horrible at speaking. If you write something down for me, I'll say it for you.
I think it's largely commentary about,
It's just a
that we
thank you.
appreciate the
Yeah.
partnership with the
Sure.
Royal River Conservation Association.
I'll be more
You
than
know
happy.
you can
I'll be
do
more than
that.
happy to go with you. If you feel like one of us need to be here, I will make that happen.
Okay,
for you. How's
awesome.
that? It's my birthday that day, so you gotta.
Maybe we'll have to bring you some cake.
All right, there we go. Deal.
Really get that, huh?
So now, as far as approving these, we can't approve the minutes because we have to wait for them to be
Right.
edited.
Well, we
right?
can approve them with
as
the,
Oh, okay.
You can
Yes.
approve them as amended.
right.
Okay. Well, then I move that we approve B, from the consent agenda, B as amended and C as presented.
Second.
Yeah, good.
Everybody speak at once.
All those in favor?
Who seconded?
I did.
They're going to fight it out later.
All right, action and discussion items. Act on the pit position.
So Shannon has come to talk to me, Shannon Brown, not Shannon Plord, who is our public information technology person. And she's indicated to me that she is going to work her way out of the position because she is way too busy. She does want to stay on until we have hired somebody and so she can train the person. So we're looking for a date at the end of July when she would be finished with the position. So what I need from you guys is, first of all, we should probably go over the job description and make sure it's what we want. And the other thing is I need a motion to put it out to get applications for.
Is what you sent us the current job description?
That is the current job description, and I was taking a quick look at it, and the only thing that I saw that really jumped out at me was the person doesn't need their own computer system because there's a laptop associated with this position that leaves the building.
Does or
It does leave the building.
Does, okay.
Shannon has it, yeah.
So Shannon is the one that's built this website?
Well, that's kind of
Oh,
a trick
wait.
question.
Along with you?
I've done most of it.
Oh, really?
And the reason is she's been short of time and
Okay, well, there you go.
I'll make a motion to approve it as is with Ruth's suggestion that we remove, they need their own computer.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
now, does that include putting it out to?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that does.
Not gonna do us any good, keep it a secret.
That would be bad.
Okay, now you want to act on the CEO position?
So you want that advertised in the usual manner as part of your motion?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
CEO, we have 4 applications for CEO. I think that I would like you guys to set a date for interviewing and decide who you want to be involved in the interviews.
I mean, is who we want to interview or who we want to do the interviewing?
Well, my assumption is since all 4 candidates are qualified, you would interview all 4 candidates. But I mean, as far as, do you want somebody from the planning board, or invite somebody from the planning board, do you want
Well,
to?
I mentioned I spoke with Ann from the planning board, and she's certainly willing to be part of, when I spoke to her, well, several weeks ago, she said she would be interested in being involved in the interview.
Or
process.
Mindy's the chairman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chairwoman.
Can we set up a date between us, and if they're welcome to attend, can we leave it at that?
Yes.
Can we just set, whether it's gonna be 2 of us or all of us or
What's
one
the
of us?
normal process, or is there
Yeah.
a normal process?
Well,
Maybe that's the first question.
It is kind of somewhat normal, yeah.
generally, the select board does the interviewing and the hiring, but I would certainly think that it would be a good idea to maybe get input from some of the other people that are.
Because they're gonna have to deal with them. And both of them are pretty well versed in
So-
what they need.
So you could maybe invite either of them,
Right.
and then if one of them can make it, that would be great. If both of them can make it.
Yeah,
then-
I was asking that, like, can we set a time between us, and if it
Yeah.
works for them, it works for them, but that way we're not juggling, and it takes 7 months for everybody to get on the same page to get here.
I think the one thing we would want though is it's you got to be all in, like, because it's not going to be fair if somebody heard 2 interviews and
Right.
someone only heard the other 2, and you couldn't really have a.
The tentative date that Ruth had thrown out was the 20th,
Which is next Tuesday.
because that was the date we were hoping, if all goes good, to set the tax commitment. And all of that may depend on what happens with the
Set
state.
the what?
Tax
Tax
commitment.
commitment.
Oh,
So,
That's a different subject, and we'll get to that one in a minute.
yeah, so that really shouldn't take a huge amount of time, setting the tax commitment, if everything falls into place, and then we could possibly do the interviews that night.
We do them at night, not, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, and you'll see, we try to start a little early. If people can get here, we can start, 5 o'clock, 5:30 or something, if you want. Try to set, a half hour between them or something like that.
I'm,
Do you want to do them all on the same night?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
And there is one that's quite a ways away, so if we're gonna do that and they can make it, that's the other thing, if they can make it this night, probably set that
Well,
one
we
up
start
first.
with this night, I think, and then, decide if, see who can make it and see what happens.
So do we want to use the 20th as the date? And even if something goes for you and the tax amendment goes away because of whatever, the state does whatever, we do the interviews that night anyways.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move this
because
forward.
we gotta get one.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, that's obvious.
Right.
Even more obvious after tonight.
Okay, so just a matter of,
There,
yeah. So it comes down to a matter of what time do we want to start?
Earlier the better. 5:30?
5:30 works for me.
Okay.
Let's do 5:30.
5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That work for you guys? Yep.
And hopefully, can you email Ann and Mindy and?
Yes, I will
make sure
invite
that
Ann and Mindy.
One of you.
Could
There's
one-
no reason they both couldn't come, right?
No,
No, they can,
absolutely
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
The more the merrier, I think.
Yeah.
'Cause both of them have good
Let's get this
opinions.
one right,
Yeah.
Let's get somebody good, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all set on that? Okay, now insert for the tax bill. I think we have a prototype.
This is just a question because we had talked several times about putting something in the tax bill that would give people information. You're talking about $270, so it's not a huge amount of money. And I had given you guys an example of what Gardner does, which is the last place that I had worked. And we can, decide to do it, decide to not do it, look at it, and decide what we want to put in the tax thing. I'm looking for input.
I actually think it's a good idea, and one of the things when I was reading down through here that I liked, that I know we get the questions, once the tax bills go out, people start coming to pay, they always come to the window and ask, where's my taxes going? And usually the girls ask, did you look at the tax bill? And they say yes. But they didn't notice what the percentage was that went to this one or what the percentage. So in here, it actually spells that out, so I think that's kind of if they read this, I think that's kind of a good thing. They may still get the questions, but
I think they'll get the questions.
I think you're right. It would be just a matter of what we want to put in. And do we have time to do it between now and then? Which is,
Well, if you guys give me an idea of what you might want to go with, I could do a rough draft and we can have it available the night that we hopefully do commitment.
I don't have a problem with the letter. I mean, how much was the cost again?
$270.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't want to, I don't know if it's fair or right to get the whole state government involved, per se. Just
Yeah,
give them a brief update
Yeah.
of what's going on, rather than passing the buck as to
Right.
where the problem lies.
This was the increase from town. This
Yes,
was the
exactly.
increase from school. This is where the tax breaks out on where it goes.
Yeah, I wouldn't send out this letter. I wouldn't be fair.
no,
Right.
and it probably, I don't know if it would help to put in our cleanup day, because by that time we'll be back into town meeting, so it'll be after
Yeah.
that again, so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we could put some general stuff on there.
I think, yeah,
Phone
fairly
numbers or
simple
something.
explanation of the numbers,
Right,
you know,
yeah,
type
I
of
think,
thing.
yeah.
I don't suppose you talked to the comprehensive committee about maybe putting something, a little blurb in?
We didn't talk about it, but we're not at a phase right now where a message would be relevant, so.
Okay, so we'll have Ruth draft something up,
Okay.
we'll look at it on the 20th.
I don't need that.
Sounds good.
I don't need a,
Yeah, we don't need,
No.
we haven't decided anything yet,
No.
right?
I just wanted to know if I should draft one up or not.
Okay, so D we've taken care of with the 20th for the commitment and the interviews.
No, I wanted to discuss the commitment with you guys.
Okay. Actually,
Really, Todd?
Todd choke.
Talk about for commitments.
So I just wanted to update you guys on the issue with the commitment. The issue is that the legislature hasn't passed all of the things that they have to pass yet in order for us to get our numbers. And so I have my fingers crossed. They're supposed to do it by the 21st, because if they don't do it by the 21st, I believe the government shuts down. There's going to be a government
Good.
shutdown. No, it's not going to save us any money, though, Todd.
Maybe they'll get a hint.
So we're kind of keeping our ears open and playing this by ear, but the issue is that because we're so late in committing our taxes every year, we're starting to run on fumes as far as money is concerned. I had enough for this month, but next month we're going to have issues being able to pay the school bill unless we get tax money. So
What if we're late? Do they foreclose on the office or something? Or
No,
they
you have
gotta
to
understand.
borrow.
They gotta understand the situation.
no, if we're late, I guess we're just going to be late.
It's not our fault. they're
But I
on
just
break.
wanted to let you guys know that
It's unforeseen circumstances,
we
right?
are.
I would think.
And of course, we have to make sure that the RSU budget passes, because if the
Right.
budget doesn't pass, then that is another kink in our issue of committing taxes, because we can't commit without that budget.
and we're not looking to get a tan, so if none of this works to our advantage, then it's gonna be tough to get a tan. to make things work, correct?
I have people.
Is that a guarantee, Ruth?
It's not a guarantee. But I think we could probably get a tan if we really needed to, but I would prefer not to.
Yeah,
So I'll keep you
Cost
guys
more.
updated on
Sure.
okay.
what's happening. Okay, now you can go ahead.
Do we want, do the 5:30 for the interviews, do we want to show up, 15 minutes before that or so we can take care of the commitment, or we'll just start at 5:30, take a few minutes, take care of that? If it falls into place, and then we'll start the interviews right after that. Is that-
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay, that's
What
fine.
time?
5:30, yeah.
Yes,
Same-
5:30,
We'll just
same
take a
time.
couple minutes before we do the first interviews, that's all.
I just want to comment, this tax club that the town of Gardner has, that sounds like a hell of an idea.
It is, it's an awesome idea.
It, you know, you send in, it's a club. It's like a Christmas club, right?
It is,
You know,
because you pay your taxes in 9 separate installments.
Yeah.
But the issue is the way our tax year runs, it'd be very hard for us to do that unless we go to a fiscal year. And then we can work towards that.
At what point are we gonna discuss doing
Right up
that?
your alley, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
After I get to do some,
People can and do come in and pay
Yeah.
a little bit each.
oh, yes,
sure.
absolutely.
yeah.
People can pay
Can.
whatever they want, whenever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But,
As long as
Just-
eventually they pay the whole thing on.
well,
time.
yes.
Whatever they want within reason.
For you
yes.
this month.
it's my club contribution.
Yeah.
All right, we all set with that one?
Yep.
Act on Pine Tree Waste contract. I kind of briefed over this a little bit, and it seems like it's pretty much the standard that we've had in the past.
Yeah, I did pass it by Jack, our
Okay.
lawyer, and he did add a couple things to it. He added an indemnity clause, and then the other thing he added was what I call an out clause. And basically, it states that if we don't appropriate the money, then we can get out of the contract as of the end of that fiscal year. Now, we're not on a fiscal year, so I thought about changing the date of June 30th, but, I mean, you'd have to have some money.
Well, the contract runs on a fiscal year.
Right, the contract runs on a fiscal year.
So I think, keep it clean, it would make sense to keep it
Yeah, it would.
that way.
Right, has Pine Tree seen this amendment that?
No. The attachment basically comes directly from the bid specs.
Okay.
So that's where all that information
My
comes.
guess is this is not the first time we've signed one of these with Pine Tree. So they probably had a clause like this from our attorney in the past. I would think this
I don't
would
believe
I
it
would
was
think
in-
it'd be boilerplate.
Well, I took the boilerplate from the last one, and so it did not have
Okay.
the clause the last time.
I'm good with it. The attorney's good with it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, unless Pine Tree's gonna object to it.
Well, then we'll be back here again.
I mean, I can't imagine if they
Basically,
would.
it says, you don't have to come pick up the trash if you
Right.
decide not to pay it.
Right.
Right? They're probably not gonna, okay, fine.
No, that's right.
There'll be a lot more burn permits around here, chief. Get your website up and running, buddy.
Everybody's
I'm just
gonna
telling you.
Everybody's gonna have a fireplace.
Burn barrels for everybody.
We used to do that all the time.
Oh, yeah, used to. Okay, so all we need to do is have a motion to approve this. I will accept that motion.
All right, I would move that we accept the contract with Pine Tree Waste with the changes suggested by the lawyer.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded, that we accept the contract with the adjustments. Any more discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. And you probably have that somewhere here for us to sign?
Well, actually, I seem to be missing the agreement part of the copy, so if you guys could,
this one?
yeah, that one is, so if you guys could just pick one and all
one's got
sign the
this-
Oh,
same.
okay. Yeah, it's on, the rest of it's on the back.
You wanna start it?
You got the one-page one?
I got the
Do the
one, yeah.
one-page one. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, where are we?
One copy, Ruth?
we probably should do 2 copies, so I can,
I've got one here, it's good and clean. I started it back.
thank you, Rich. I had meant to do 2.
Everybody wants an original these days. God forbid it's a copy.
Half the time you can't even tell though.
Yeah, that's true.
Sign that, we can get started on F, the PSAP contract.
I'm gonna hand that one over to Chief so he can
Yeah.
talk on that.
But the PSAP contract, I don't know how aware all of you are in regard to what it is, but PSAP is the Public Safety Answering Point is what the acronym stands for, and they actually answer your 911 calls. It's then either dispatched by them, if that's where you dispatch from, or it's disseminated to a dispatch center, which in our case is Lisbon. A contract that I see no issues with the contract. It's basically the same as we've had in the past. The only thing I would hope that, and I see no option for us on paying it or not paying it, or signing it or not signing it. We could go out for prices, but if you look at the date range on that contract, we're already halfway through the contract.
That was gonna be my first question.
Yeah, so and they do that primarily so that the revenues come in their next budget year, because they won't get them more than likely and process them until after July 1. So they'll be in the next budget year. But the thing they don't take into consideration is those of us in a calendar budget year, because unless Ruth got notification, I didn't see any notification saying it was going up. Didn't go up drastically. It's never gone up since we've been paying them for PSAPing services, but it went up 10 cents per capita. Which doesn't sound like much, but it equates to $384.80 is what the increase on it is. So I actually didn't have that budgeted. I'm not worried about that piece. I'll somehow figure it out, or else I'll come to you and tell you that, hey, I couldn't make it work. But I guess I would hope if you approve signing it and sending it in and paying it, because you already approved paying it, because I think it was on the warrant for the payables. But I would hope it would be accompanied with a letter saying that, hey, we're on a calendar year. We really need to see these notifications of increases prior to our budget cycle, which means we need to, if there's an increase next year, we really need to know by November or so. So, I mean, I just wanted to hear you guys up. We really need to be notified, because 10 cents, we can probably make 10 cents work, but if they start talking
20 a
30
quarter.
cents, 50 cents, that adds up. It sounds trivial, but when you start doing per capita, it adds up. I'm not sure that's what Ruth wanted it on there for, but I wanted to explain to you that it's actually an increase and an increase that they never notified us, so.
So we can pay the bill if we choose to pay it with that little note there, that should be.
We don't have a lot of options. I
Right.
mean, we can shop around, but PSAPs are all about the same price. It actually, Androscoggins, that's actually a pretty reasonable price. So I mean, I think we went through the dispatch research.
Yep.
Accompanied with the PSAP research, and between Lisbon and the Sheriff's Department, those are probably our 2 best deals that we
Yeah, I think you did a whole bunch of that last year.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
They haven't raised their rates in how long? You said
Is-
it's been
is what?
how long? It's been how long since they raised their rates last?
Since they were charging, initially there was no charge for PSAPs. They were assigned that by the state legislature, but there was never any funding for mortar and labor. It was just for the PSAP equipment that went in there. So eventually legislation got passed that allowed them to start billing for it. So we've been probably paying that PSAP fee for, and actually even initially county commissioners didn't implement it. I think our dispatch fee has been 3-4 years, somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay.
And it's never, since we've been getting billed, it's never gone up. So that's really not the point of the matter. The point of the matter is it'd be nice
Just
to be
notification.
told
Right.
in advance
Yeah.
that, hey, we need to do a price increase. I don't think 10 cents is off the charts, but
No, it doesn't seem like it.
it looks better in our pocket than
Right,
in theirs.
yeah, oh, yeah.
So, and I need a motion authorizing me to sign the contracts.
Todd?
I'd motion signing the contract for the PSAP with the county.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? IT RFP.
Yes, I opened my IT RFP, and to my surprise, I got one. So I actually got two bids. One was from a company called BEK, and they were ones that bid last time. And then I also got a company named CMC Technology who also bid. They actually called me yesterday morning, when it was due yesterday afternoon, and said, do you guys have any IT needs? And I said, well, we have an RFP out if you want to bid it now. So the CMC Technology bid came in more like my last RFP, where they have a beginning assessment and then they want to charge a per month reoccurring charge of $1,200 a month, which is not unreasonable, but that's not what I was looking for. The BEK bid this time came in, they want to charge, well, they don't want to, they would charge a $2,160 fee up front. That is for them to go through our entire system, all three sites, go through our system, map it for us, take pictures of the equipment, write down what all the equipment that we have is, and make recommendations as far as what they think would be good for us to, what direction they would be good for us to go. Then in addition to that, they gave us hourly rates, and the hourly rates depend on what kind of work that they're performing. The $215 rate is obviously emergency. If I need them right away because my server just crashed and burned or something like that.
Regardless of the hour of the day?
Right, irregardless of the hour of the day. The 135 is what we would most likely go with. So with our present budget, if we go with them, we would have enough money left over after the assessment for approximately 20 hours for the rest of the year. And I think that's probably doable.
Do we have, is there any money in the budget to act on any of the recommendations that might come out of the assessment?
We have money in the budget to procure a new server, because that had been a previous suggestion from some other IT people that we had discussed stuff with. So we did put money in to buy a server, but beyond that, not really. So it's kind of something that would be for next year.
For next year, based
Yeah.
upon.
Yeah.
If we bought a server, how much of this time would be, typically when you buy the server, you gotta have somebody set it up and all that stuff. So if we did purchase a server, something down, I mean, I'm assuming there's gonna be a pretty big expense at $135 an hour to set that up.
I have absolutely no idea.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's fine.
Would that
Either,
be part
but-
of their assessment to,
I don't think the setup would be part of their assessment.
no, but the need for,
They'd be looking.
because we kind of made the call outside of their assessment that we need a new server.
Right, so they may
So
come
they could
in.
confirm that or say, nah,
Right.
you don't need that, you
Right.
really need this.
Right,
And then they could give us an estimate of this, what it would cost to implement whatever their
Right.
suggestion, okay.
exactly.
Okay. So Ruth, just, because I get it. Which one of these do you think fits the town's needs in your opinion best?
BEK.
BEK.
And it's
Okay.
closer too. And most of these places charge mileage, so that's another
Okay.
issue. It's located in the Bath, the
Yeah.
old station.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I think you told me that a couple weeks ago. Okay.
So you'd like a motion to move forward with BEK?
I would.
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we let Ruth move forward with BEK. All those in favor?
Okay.
Special town meeting warrant.
So, I have written up a special town meeting warrant, and I have now one. For the special town meeting, we had discussed, in regards to the Public Works project titled Durham Auburn Pownell Road Culverts. I went back and forth around a date, and I settled on July 17th a Monday, which is not set in stone. This is a discussion thing. And the reason I chose that date is because it gives a month to advertise and to get everybody, you know, on the same page. The issue with that date is I will not be here, although it is an election type of thing, so Shannon technically would be running the election, but I will not be around during that time. So I don't know if you feel more comfortable if I'm around, we can push it off a little bit further, or if you feel comfortable that you guys can make it through a special town
I
meeting.
think we can make it through. I guess my question would be is, what's the, how bad of the emergency that we gotta get this done? I mean, is it time is of the essence here? Is the dam, or is the levee ready to break, or we got some time?
Well, we can't put it out to bid until we have the money.
Right.
So we need to appropriate the money, and then you would put it out to bid, and then, you know, I'm assuming that some of the work would want to be done this fall, so I mean, I suppose you could put it off to the beginning of August if you wanted, but I wouldn't go much further than that.
I think we should move forward.
Do we have a moderator for this?
We do not yet. Shannon was going to invite Joshua Klein Golden to be the moderator.
He's gonna be the one that's gonna do the town meeting next year? Yeah.
Got to pay for that?
We haven't.
Not usually, although they can charge.
I get it on the town aspect, but that's an all-day affair, but I was thinking something like this. I didn't know
Yeah,
if
this-
maybe we could
this-
just handle this
It's,
in-house.
yeah, it's a one,
Or do we need,
No,
are we required to have
We're
a
required to
moderator?
have a moderator.
Okay. Independent of the town, I assume.
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
No.
Not independent of the town.
Technically, anybody can be moderator.
Right. I
Right.
mean, you could be moderator. you
well,
could-
that's what I mean. I mean, it's one question. It's kind of a black and white. It's really not a, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, if the gentleman's willing to do it, let him do it.
he was
I
the one
was
that
just
was,
curious.
yeah, he was the one that was gonna do it last year, and,
And then Gary said he wanted to do it one more year.
yeah,
Why don't we see if he's willing and available, and if he's not, we can
yeah,
see, go to Plan B.
yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
So do we wanna hang with the July 17th?
Yes.
Sounds good.
I mean, it's basically the one thing, so.
Yeah,
And we're not raising money, so
right.
it shouldn't be a,
7 o'clock?
So the other,
We're the only ones in the room.
well, I guess I should probably, you should probably do a motion for that first.
for the 17th? All right, I'll take a motion for the special town meeting on July 17th.
Second.
I'll make a motion to have the town meeting on the Monday, July 17th at 7 PM at the Eureka Center.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, any more discussion? All those in favor? Okay,
Are you guys interested in having a public hearing?
Buy it
Yes.
too for this? Nah, I don't think it's one to.
Since we're not raising money, it doesn't feel like we would,
I think if we need to put it out there somehow so people understand what this is about, without making a big, long newspaper article about it, but,
Just put a link on our new website.
Yeah.
Up on the website.
All good.
I could do that, yeah.
yeah, that's probably the best way.
Okay.
All right, any more questions on that? No? Departments and committees, fire chief, you wanna go first?
Well, he has to stay anyways.
You don't- All right, you wanna go first, and while you're right there?
Doesn't matter. You're on there first. I gotta stay till we end, so it doesn't matter.
I don't really have much tonight. I mean, because, you know, usually I put everything on the agenda that I want. I did want to let you guys know that the tax sale that we had up has been redeemed.
So
So it is
came
gonna-
back?
It came back. The people who had previously owned it and we had foreclosed upon have redeemed the property. It's off the tax sale, so there's no tax sale
The one up here on Route 9?
on Hollow Road.
Next
Yeah.
to Route 9, yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Other than that,
So that tax sale was canceled, is that what you're
yes, the
saying?
tax sale was canceled.
That's good.
that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, chief.
Okay,
Good as enough tough as you can get.
Yeah, I told you.
I have paper copies of my report if you don't have those.
Yeah, I think she gave us.
Have them? Yep, that's all right. So everybody's got a copy one way or the other? All right, we'll start off the apparatus committee. We met last night and went back and revisited the engine again. One of the assignments of everybody was to walk away and ponder it for a month because we'd hashed it around and we'd looked at services provided, how how we fulfilled the need for those services and stuff. That we actually went up and looked at an engine that was up to Northeast that had been ordered, which was smaller. It actually cost more, but it was smaller, to see if maybe something smaller might be something we could do. But anyway, where we ended up after hashing it out is we're going to try to invite a vendor in. The committee's still at a point that, no, the engine, right now, that's not the piece to look at. If we're going to look at consolidation, now's not where we should be looking at consolidation. It's one of the other pieces perhaps down the road. Perhaps we can do some things to set the stage for the consolidation. They're not against consolidation, and they do, in all honesty, sooner or later, we're probably going to have to discuss a second rescue. And if we discuss a second rescue, we got 6 page orders. We don't need a 7th one. So at some point in time, we'd have to figure out how we make a second rescue fit in there and stuff. So they don't feel it now's the time. So we're actually going to try to, next month in July, hopefully on the July 10th meeting, invite a engine fire truck manufacturer in to salesman to actually take a look at our engine, take a look at our needs. We actually have 2 salesmen from different companies that live in the town of Durham. So they're going to give us a biased opinion, obviously, but it's all going to be
They wanna sell us
proportional.
something, right?
Yes, it's all going to be proportional. And the one individual I'm probably going to invite in, he's helped us along the ways with information, and he still never sold us a truck. So he's got to keep plugging, but he's also willing to keep trying. So we're going to try to invite them in hopefully on the 10th, and then on the 24th, we're going to try to invite somebody in to discuss a vendor for rescue, because that was the other piece of what we discussed, was the rescue is actually slated for replacement in 19, and the build-out time for those is the same as it is for fire apparatus. Not quite as long, but almost as long as it is for fire apparatus. And the other thing that a rescue throws at us, if you follow communities and what they're doing with rescues, is they replace them. Because of some of the changes, most communities now are starting to go to gasoline, which sounds trivial, but it puts a whole different twist on it to us. Everything we have over there is diesel. We have on-site diesel, so now we have to look at fuel. So we have a bunch of questions we need to talk to vendors about and see what our options are for, especially staying with diesel, so we can continue with the on-site.
Why? Yeah, why?
It's because of the engines and the size chassis that we need. You can go to the larger chassis. If I'm understanding this correctly, part of this is why we're inviting in a vendor, so that we understand it better. If I understand this correctly, to go with a diesel engine, the size chassis we need, with the type of box we need, we either go with a retrofit on a commercial chassis, which is going to leak continually if we do the seam built on there and stuff. They're going to twist differently, and it's going to be a constant issue. Or we have to go with something extremely large, which, in all honesty, ours is really about the right size. To get something about our size, if my understanding is correct, we have to, most communities are looking at gasoline, or actually going with gasoline. A lot of them around us are gradually switching to gas engines. So that's probably one of the bigger questions. The rest of it is somewhat, the system we have and the way it's set up is really workable. So it's really just a case of looking at the updates. Like, I know we have to put 3-point harnesses in for the passengers, the EMS providers in the back and things like that. But the safety requirements, and then really looking at just, most part of us is pretty much where we need to be. Just needs to be updated. So, anyways, those are the 2 dates. I didn't put times, but usually we meet at 7. So I'm pretty sure in the month of July that we are going to meet at 7, not earlier, unless we have to because of the vendors. The per diem job description, it went through the process. It had to make a few tweaks to it. Actually, the attorney sent it back and said it's perfect. There's nothing that needs to be changed.
We would expect nothing less.
It made the adjustment to it and stuff. Now I need to slide it into our department handbook. We have a section that's strictly job descriptions and stuff. It's not up on the website, I don't believe yet, is it?
No,
I'm sure it's one of the pieces you and Diana discussed, but I want to merge that piece in before because I know that one's ready to go. I just have to merge it in before we do a conversion and put it up. But anyways, actually by word of mouth, I've already had 2 people from outside the department that have submitted applications, so I'm not sure how much advertising we really have to do otherwise than making sure there's some type of public notice out there that the opportunity is there. The other side of, as I thought it through, the word of mouth thing, even a citizen, for the most part, is not going to go to an individual that they don't think would be a good asset to the community and recommend they apply for the position. So one of the things it does do by doing it that way is it weeds out a lot of the applications that we may have to weed out as we progress. But anyway, so we've started the per diem staffing internally. Going so-so at the summertime, and it's the toughest time. But I have those applications, and hopefully by the end of the week, I'll start sorting through those 2 applications. We'll get that merged together, get that up on the website, and I'll probably do some type of public notice and press a little bit more to try to get them to start to flow. But actually, it appears like that's probably gonna gradually come together and work well.
I assume, because you're usually pretty good at this stuff, you're keeping pretty good track of, like, shifts you weren't able to fill, and with the stipend model, and unanswered calls or calls that had to be referred, stuff like that. So when we come around next year, we'll be able to say, is it working? Is it not working?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to completely gauge it this year. Where in reality, I've started doing the stipends, which was the next piece. The stipends piece of it and the coverage, that's really filling it in good, and some of my stuff talks about the additional, we added one person with a new person with a license, a younger person, which really the stipend system is designed for younger people, I think I told you this, people that are established in life, they don't care about that stipend to give up an evening sleep. They'd rather have that evening sleep than that stipend. So, but young people that just bought a house or something in the town, or trying to make changes in their life, they're all over that stuff. So what I need to do is press to. So if anybody's listening and they're young and they want to get their EMS license, but it's designed, it's ideal for those. So we've got one that's licensed, and we've got a few more in the wings. So as we add those people, we're starting to actually plug a lot of those gaps. We did have one fallacy in the system that with an individual, and it's been addressed. Hope we don't have to go there, but I'm hoping there is not a second time for that to happen. But, some of it becomes a personnel issue, but I forwarded the information to Ruth and stuff in regard to the fallacy within the system. It was taken care of. There was coverage. It just was not necessarily who was signed up for coverage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, something we discussed initially. I did not think it would happen this soon. But I was already tested, so.
Yep.
But anyway, I think both of that system, piece of the system really seems to, we have very few gaps. I actually checked earlier today, and I didn't write it down and include it in the report, but I probably have maybe 2-3 shifts at the most that absolutely nobody has signed up. There might be some of them I only have an EMS provider, or a driver, but there are not many of them. So I think that's coming along, that piece of it's coming along pretty good. I feel good about it. I was a little apprehensive about it after recommending it, especially with that glitch, but I feel good about it. I think it's coming along. We kind of covered the 2 and 3, 7, not 4. We've had 7 members. I talked to about it before, and they were still in the class, but all 7 of them passed their basic fire officer. We had one other individual that took fire officer 1 and 2, which is actually quite a commitment. You go for 2 weekends, and then you go for 9 days straight to an academy, and you stay at the academy. So it's actually quite an achievement and quite a commitment. But he's achieved his fire officer 1 and 2 certification. As I mentioned, we had the one complete the basic EMT, but we've got several others that this is the time of year they start testing out. So hopefully they're all successful with it, because we've got at least 2, if not 3 more. We have 3 more that hopefully if they're successful with their testing, we could add to the rolls for new basics. Then we had one individual that just passed their firefighter 1 and 2. Their final exam was this Saturday. They passed. So we'll be adding a new firefighter to the roster as well. We have 7 enrolled, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. I think that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have 7 of them actually enrolled in a basic pumps class, and we've actually met and have the dates all worked out for doing an aerial operators class in-house based on it's specifically on our aerial apparatus. Any of the training we've had before this, where we didn't buy it new, was based on the people from New Jersey training us, and then us training our people internally. Maine Fire Service Institute is one of their services. They're actually putting together aerial operations, and it's specific to your aerial device, so that ought to be a good class. I'm hoping we fill that. EMS week, that actually went very well. With grades 5 through 8, we have them over, and we try to add something a little different every time, and that went over very good and was very successful, and the weather cooperated. 6, a few weeks ago, I sent Ruth a piece on NIMS, a NIMS class in Lewiston. And I just wanted to touch on that because I know there were some questions asked in regard to, well, hey, what is this? What's required? So anyways, NIMS, we're required to be, communities by federal law are required to be, government is required to be NIMS compliant, which NIMS compliant basically ends up meaning that you need to adopt some type of local ordinance, ruling, or something like that, which we've done actually long prior to me becoming the EMA director. Debbie actually moved it through, and it was approved at town meeting. I'd have to research to tell you for sure if it's an ordinance or how it was written, but I know we voted it in a town meeting, and I believe it was an ordinance. But that's the first piece of it. The second piece of it is we need to do an emergency operations plan, which myself and my assistant EMA director usually work on the emergency operation plans. It usually covers weather emergencies, snow emergency, things like that. I know some of you were around during the ice storm and stuff like that. Well, most of the planning and the contingencies were actually listed in that plan. And here's where you go, here's how you do it. Not all of it always holds true and is 100% up to date, but it gives you that basic guideline to build upon. So we have to have that in place. That's maintained by county EMA. We provide them the input and the updates, and they keep it updated for us, and they house it there. I've got a copy of it at the station. There should be a copy of it here, I'm assuming. I believe there was in the class. It should be labeled Durham EOP. And actually, some of the things that you see here, like the PowerPoint projector, the whiteboard, the flip charts, we have a radio that we actually store at the station, but the connection for it's over there, and there's an antenna on the roof. Is our emergency operations plans actually designates this as the emergency operations center, should we have an event, as well as many of the generators that were purchased in town. The school was set up so segments of it can be split off as a shelter, and when we turned it over to the RSU, if in the event of a major disaster, we can use that section of the school. That was not part of the deed. There was there was an easement placed on the deed so that we can use that as a shelter if we need to for a major emergency. That generator there was actually purchased is under the emergency management system, as well as the one at the cooling and warming shelter is the community center, and that's how that generator was purchased. And this one was purchased prior to, that wasn't part of this purchase, but this purchase here was actually based on emergency operations center and stuff. So all the generators in town, with the exclusion of the fire department, go figure, in Public Works, actually came through Homeland Security funds based on NIMS compliance and the system that they've established. So still you tax money, but somebody else is going to get it. So we really need it here, and it's definitely been a plus because in the meantime you can utilize it. You guys have probably got the money's worth out of the PowerPoint projector without us ever using it for an emergency operations center. But that's piece number 2. Piece number 3 is credentialing of personnel, and we're required to, we have to pass the straight face test. Everybody doesn't have to always be up to snuff. They realize there's going to be occasionally gaps. For the longest time, the ones for municipal officials were totally ridiculous. You know, it really, I'm gonna probably come to you in the event of a disaster or emergency, and I'm going to the ice storm. What I met with the selectmen for was to actually give them an update in regard to what was happening, what we'd had for emergencies, what we had for losses, and what they could expect for follow expenses. So some of the levels they took it to was totally ridiculous. So what I've actually given you to help you get a grasp on it and stuff is, if you look, actually, you guys fall under the very first line on that top sheet. Senior local county appointed elected officials. And if you look, you're a 402. It's a 2-hour class, is what it is. I actually thought it couldn't be taught otherwise than by county EMA or somebody that was authorized, but I actually went in my research to come up with some of this stuff. The next sheets after this first sheet are sheets from the PowerPoint presentation that you can download from the FEMA website. So I actually have downloaded I gotta do more research, because we may be able to do it without actually having to have county EMA come in.
Feel like maybe you could take us through it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what I was kind of wondering after I found that the instructor notes are up on the FEMA website, as well as the PowerPoint presentation. These are the first 3 slides out of like a 71-point PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to do some research and see if that could happen. The other option we have, rather than credentialing, and we have had selectmen before that have opted not to take the training, I just need to put a waiver on file saying, well, no, in the event of an emergency, I'm going to sit there and listen, but I'm not going to be part of the decision-making process. For 2 hours worth of training, I don't recommend it, but other people have said that they'd do that. I'd recommend taking the training. And I actually think if you haven't been subjected to it and stuff, the 2 hours, that's not bad, and it's kind of eye-opening. When you
I thought it
start,
was very interesting.
I think I like subjected to it.
yeah, well, when you start, if you look at mine, I've had all of these plots going across here, and some of it is a little overkill for the town of Durham system. So that's where the subjected term comes from. But anyways, and then the fourth item is credentialing of resources, which county EMA again keeps for us. Every annually we report changes in equipment, and they've established databases so that in the event of an emergency, if I need 2 water rescue boats, that's how I have a disc, but rather than relying on people that are unfamiliar, I'd actually probably contact county EMA or the sheriff's department and say, well, hey, I need a couple of rescue boats, and they maintain that, and it's all typed according to FEMA resourcing, which FEMA resourcing an engine is not just what we talk about at town meeting, because that's just the vehicle, and an engine needs to have certain equipment, and it needs to have certain staffing on it and stuff, so it covers all that. Enough information? More than enough? Was that my shut off? Was that the alarm to say it's enough? Time's up?
Cue the music.
But anyways, there's questions on the...
Are we thinking of something on the website? Maybe it's already there, I haven't seen it. Detailing, I don't want to scare people, but detailing an emergency operation. You know, what happens if, you know, and who do you call? Where do you go? Not everybody knows
The fact that the school
that the
is a
school
shelter.
is a shelter.
Well, the thing of it is if it happens, unless we staff it, it's not gonna do you any good to go to the school. So I guess we have to open it first. We could put the pieces of the plan up there, but we'd also need to make sure people realize that without staffing, like the cooling shelter, I gotta be honest with you, the cooling shelter, I don't think we've ever opened it as a cooling shelter. We opened it once as a warming shelter when we lost power for like a day, and we had maybe 3 people come by. Even during the ice storm, I'm not sure Debbie was overseeing it, and I had my hands full, but I don't think we ever had more than 6 or 8 families that actually went and stayed at the end. That's all. People in Maine, this is designed for a national system. People in Maine, especially if you live in rural environments, tend to become fairly self-sufficient. We can. I can put together something and make sure it's up there so people have a better handle on it. And it's not necessarily scare people, but I mean, then it depends. I'll see what I can put together, because the depth of it, to me, one of our instant disasters, short of something that you can't really predict or foresee, like maybe a hurricane hitting or a tornado or something like that, or a major, flooding, dam breach, dam failure. The dams on the Androscoggin River are getting older. At the flood inundation maps, which actually there should be copies of the flood inundation maps here as well. We only have 30 minutes to react with the changes in 136. That's changed the people that are at risk. It reduced the at-risk population substantially, but we go back to the floods of 87. Is it 87? We go back to that, the third largest flood, and that's actually, we'd have to go back to the flood of 46 before we had the equivalent of a dam breach situation, and we'd have 30 minutes to react, whereas a flood, we tend to go watch, and wow, it's come up a little today, and we go watch the next day.
Hey, look at that.
But yeah, I can put together some stuff. I don't think it'd be so much on where to go. It would be how to prepare.
react.
There is stuff up there in regard to how to
Prepare and
prepare
how to
for
react.
yourself for these emergencies, because really to actually get where you need to go, you need to be able to be self-sufficient for at least a little bit of time. I'll look at it, see what I can do. But we do have some information that was on our website in regard
even,
to preparation for
Simple
winter storms.
links,
and for-
links to the Homeland Security site that's got all
Yeah.
that stuff
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
shelter in place.
Actually, the
and-
links to our old website, there was links to a lot of that stuff, so. I'll look at some of it. Enough on the new stuff?
Yep.
Okay. County PSAP, we talked about that. One's report website, we really didn't talk about that, but I think I heard a little something about that. But One's report website, it's not so much they shut it down, it's the fact of how they shut it down. It actually, I received a notice from the individual that runs One's report and an email from him on Saturday saying it'd been shut down. The letter from the state of Maine showed up on Saturday. I saved the envelope. It was postmarked the 8th, which is Thursday. So to me, they showed total disregard for the citizens and the systems that were in place. A little history, so that if you are comfortable with it, maybe you'll help campaign, because I think it's a good thing. Before Warden's Report website, we had the option of paper permits at the station. We paid for 2 hours staffing at the station on Saturday and Sunday. It cost roughly $2,100 a year. Warden's Report website, when we did our trial year, we didn't change it right away. But since then, we've done away with staffing on Saturday and Sunday. I mean, eventually with per diem, we may have it there and stuff, but I think Saturday and Sunday are going to be the tough days to fill. And I guess I don't think we should be doing it for burn permits if we have what was a cheaper and viable option. If you figure it out, $7 per permit on the state website, we issued 699 permits on Warden's Report. We still issued some on the state site, and we issued a bunch of paper ones, but we issued 699. It's in last year's town report in 2016 from Warden's Report website. It would have cost the citizens, on a personal level, almost $4,700 to go onto the state website and draw that number of permit. So no matter how we stack it, that Warden's Report was providing a quality service. It was just as safe as the state website service is going to be, and it was affordable. People in town really,
What's their revenue stream? How do they make?
so
Warden's Report.
really, if you think about it, what do they have to do? They have to manage a website.
Yeah, but
So
they
why-
get paid to do that.
Yeah, why would they just do that for
The
free?
guy's a firefighter, and he has a number of communities in the first place. He's been doing it. We've been there for over probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but there were other communities that were there for a year to 2 years prior to that.
Do we
So,
pay him
which kind of
anything?
makes you, yeah, we pay $75 a year.
Okay, well, still, that's not.
No, it's pretty trivial, really. It probably barely covers maintenance costs. He does have probably his report, and I'm not going to quote this because I have sent emails to both representatives in regard to it, because I think it's a disservice to the citizens of the town of Durham. And in reality, if the state shut it down because it wasn't an authorized electronic permitting site, and state law says they issue permits and we can issue them by paper. Well, I don't think state law probably says paper. So in reality, by us authorizing Warden's report or an in-house system, which some communities will shut down on their in-house systems, we are issuing those permits. We gave Warden's report permission to issue burning permits for the town of Durham. So I don't know what the reason is. I'm not gonna say what my thoughts are on camera, but I have thoughts in regard to the reason. There was a system that's been in place, according to the Warden's Report website, serviced almost 400,000 citizens in the state of Maine, which is, about 1/3 of the population? What are we, 1.3,
Yeah, right
1.4
around
million? It's at least 1/5, to somewhere between 1/5 and 1/3 of the population that's serviced. And we shut it down after 4 to 5 years of existence.
Yeah,
There's
that's the thing
something
that doesn't
underlying
make
that I'm
sense.
not seeing. And I don't know if you distributed the letter, but this is the letter I received. And I was a little upset and sent back with the letter because we subscribed to a system that had been in place for numerous years prior to. It's always been part of my report. And this really is a letter that says you need to cease and desist your criminal activities, in my opinion.
Wow.
Is that how you read that letter? The bottom line makes it sound like it's a criminal act to take a permit from that website, that it's in
That is kinda what
violation
it
of
said.
state law.
Put the cuffs on me.
Chief, does that website update daily? Like, do you guys call into that, whoever's the host of that website, and say, hey, the burn conditions for this Saturday are good? Or is it just done?
Gave you one, didn't you?
I don't think so.
I thought I gave you one.
Thank you.
They take their information, the state, we're all divided into zones.
Right.
Durham, we use zone 3, and it's only because of our dispatch, because the zone actually, like it does for a lot of our construction, like the hurricane zone and everything else runs through the town of Durham. But we use zone 3 because we're dispatched with Lisbon, and Lisbon is completely zone 3. So we use zone 3, so we don't have to call in, they pull it from the state website. The state posts every day, daily, once permanent snow cover is gone, they start posting class days, and that's what our sign at the station is updated on, and that's what they do. The only thing that would make any changes to that, and it's one of the things that I have hit Warden's report up about, is based on availability of personnel, I can go to the state website and shut it down, saying that I don't have enough people, so now you can't get a permit. I can't do that with Warden's report. Once I put it up, it's up there based on the class day, they're gonna issue a permit, they're gonna not, if I wanted to say, well, now we don't have enough people, like that weekend of the 23rd, 24th, 25th I talked about.
Yep.
We have the pumps class going on, we actually have the New England Association of Fire Chiefs, that there's gonna be 3 or 4 of us that are gonna be going to that show. We are gonna be very short-handed that weekend, but I can't call Warden's report and shut it down for the weekend. The state side I can.
Okay. I was just curious how they
So, but anyways,
draw
I know
it out.
it wasn't as severe as it put a cuffs on me, but it really made it sound like we've been in violation of state law and that we should have known that. I was not pleased with the letter, especially when I get it on after I'd been notified by Warden's report they were shut down.
I think the questionable thing in reading this letter, because I have the statute in front of me too, is it says that the director can delegate, and it says they have a line here, is that delegation of authority occurs with paper permits, but I don't see anything in the law that actually specifies
Says it
that
has
that's
to
how
be
the
paper
delegation,
permits.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would agree. I went to actually the statute and looked, and I didn't see anything that said paper. Actually, numerous people have written to Maine Fire Chiefs, so that hopefully we can do a consolidated effort. I've contacted, I sent emails to both our representatives and stuff like that. And it's nothing against the state or the state's website, but they do it very well, they do it affordably, and it's pretty obvious to me when you issue 699 permits that way that there's a few people out there that are good with that type of system and they like it.
Well, and, just to play devil's advocate, I think part of the reason is because that's the link that's on our town website, or is to the, I mean, that's where we were sending people.
Yeah. Previously, the state website was there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Then when I got one earlier this spring, it was through the main.
And it was probably fairly easy through
I
Maine.
couldn't believe it, and I was actually.
And you probably spent the $7 and then got an email from us.
No, I was, we were linking the warden's report,
Oh.
and I went, that's where I got, and I was actually shocked that it was free. Because I said, I can't believe there's no fee for this.
Well, the town pays $75 a year.
Yeah, so.
They can't stick you for everything.
I know, well, that's why I was so shocked.
You went back and got another one just
I
because
know.
Fully
I mean,
expected.
when they talk about the paper permits, I mean, today's technology, probably, other than me, everybody out there works on the internet, so.
Actually, the biggest difficulty I've had people come to me with is, well, hey, I'm gonna do this on my cell phone. How do I print it? Because both sides, if you really pay attention to it,
You have to
say
print.
you're supposed to print it. Both of them say you're supposed to print it, you're supposed to have a copy in your possession. The state's website is a 2-day permit, and it's a different burning time frame. If people really paid attention, you can't burn during the daytime on the state's website. It's 5 PM to 9 AM. There is no daytime burning on the state's website.
But the state, in certain areas,
No, anyway.
unorganized townships.
But if you go up north and you're gonna do a campfire and you get a campfire permit, that might perhaps be different. But actually, if you look at the state, if you get a state of Maine burning permit on their website will only issue you a permit to burn from 5 PM to 9 AM. It's a 2-day permit. However, you have to go back on the second day and verify that the class days are low enough so that you can still burn.
So if somebody's got a little fireplace out back that they cook on.
Never required it. But after
That's what I
this,
was
I'm gonna
wondering.
check with our forest warden
Yeah.
again, because our ranger, I'm the warden. Our ranger, this area has changed. With that change, because in the past, it's always, some communities require permits for the little campfire, but most people, and some people do season-long permits for the campfires. I've always told people that, no, and this is actually what our previous ranger said. If it's a campfire and it's used, the exclusion for campfires in the permit system says that it needs to be used for recreational purposes. I can't be out there burning my newspapers and magazines. I gotta have that to start it. And I can't be off in the house watching TV while I'm burning up the junk boards and stuff. It has to be for recreational purposes. So I have to be cooking and I have to be just sitting there. I can be just sitting there staring at the fire.
Sitting there with a
That's
drink, staring at the fire, right.
talking to a bunch of people, having a good time, that's recreational.
Yeah.
And the description he always used, because there's no definitive description, if you look at state law on campfires versus bonfires, they're gonna reference size. But they're really very vague on the difference in size. He used to say, this is a campfire. What you're gonna have in a campground, if you rent a campsite,
Yeah.
that's a campfire. This is a bonfire, and that's what he used to say. That's what I used to always tell people, but now
That's
I'm
a
not so
picnic,
sure
right,
after
though.
this. Yeah. That's a campfire for a lot of people.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Anything for the chief?
Well, just, the only thing I would say, I've sent those letters. I'd kind of like to let it set and see what happens with the warden's report website and if it comes back. I don't think people are gonna, the 699 people are gonna instantly want to convert. We're getting ready to try to implement the per diem system, but I guess my thoughts is that we gradually go to the per diem system. We will have staffing perhaps again on Saturdays and Sundays. I think that's gonna be my most difficult time frame to fill. However, as we progress, and I don't think we should do it now, I think we should wait and see how it rolls out, maybe in a month or so, if it's, warden's report is gone for good, see where the per diem staffing is, and even if I can't fill the day with the per diem staff for the full day, maybe I can get somebody that's on the stipend coverage to come in for that 2 hours and cover at the station, so we could go back to the 2-hour system.
Well, you could still link onto the state's.
Yeah.
Up to you guys, I'm putting it out for my recommendation.
I think we better hold off and see,
Yeah,
if
well,
the Forest Service, like you say, if the Forest Service will relent on this.
I don't think we should implement it right away.
Yeah.
But I do think we should keep it in back of our heads for an option, because I don't think a lot of people are going to. We didn't all of a sudden, when we had the state website up there, we didn't issue 700 permits at $7 a piece. A lot of people figured it was worthwhile to come to the station and get a permit rather than pay $7 for a burning permit. So it wasn't because of the convenience of electronics.
It's free at the
It
station.
was right, going there was free. We don't charge for the paper ones.
Now I follow why you wanted. Now I follow you.
We don't charge for the paper ones. The only ones that actually get charged for are the state's electronic ones, you know, and part of the things they put out is that, well, the communities get kicked back $2 at the height of our return check, and we might have got a check for maybe $125 or something like that at the height of our return, so I don't see that as a incentive. Okay, that's it for my report.
Anything for the chief? Okay. Upcoming meetings, regular selectmen's meetings will be held Tuesday, June 27th, 6 PM, and July 11th at 6:30 PM. Anything else before we go into executive session? All right, I move that we go into executive session